episode 558 of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Tonight I will be talking about AEW Rampage and WWE Friday Night Smackdown in reverse order than most Friday nights. Right here, right now, 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Hey Wrestling Fanatics, welcome to a new episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Lance Brock here on this Friday night, and hope everyone had a great Friday today to kick off this weekend. Lance Brock here. Just a quick programming note. Of course, due to the NBA All-Star Weekend activities and things, unfortunately, we will not have an episode of AEW Collision to talk about tomorrow night. And that is also why tonight AEW Rampage was on an hour earlier than normal, and I believe is scheduled to also replay at 11:30 as well. But let's get into, normally at this time we'd be getting into Smackdown, but since things were a little different this week, let's get into AEW Rampage on this Friday night. And Rampage was taped at the HEB Center in Cedar Park, Texas, just outside of Austin. Our commentators tonight, Tony Schiavone, Excalibur, and Daddy Magic Matt Menard, who I think actually is getting a little better on commentary. I know mostly at first he was on commentary for Daniel Garcia's matches, but then he's been on Rampage the last couple weeks. Actually, I take that back. There was a few episodes of Dark Elevation where he actually did commentary with Paul White. And on tonight's Rampage, we kick things off first with a no disqualification match. The charismatic Enigma Jeff Hardy taking on the Spanish God Sammy Guevara. I mentioned this morning on Good Morning Wrestling Fans that this was a match taped on Wednesday night when reportedly Jeff Hardy suffered a concussion. Jeff Hardy in this one, no surprise that there was a ladder involved. And Sammy Guevara gets the win, defeating Jeff Hardy. But then after the match, Guevara is attacked and left laying. Next up is a trios match. The Natural Dustin Rhodes teaming with Devon Eriks, Marshall and Ross. and they defeat Romeo Cruz and Shimbashi and HIT. And Queen Aminata defeated Anna Jay. And there's also a promo that airs during Rampage for a new kind of like talk show segment that Renee Young hosts on AEW's YouTube channel, and her first guest on the show is Queen Aminata. I have not had a chance to watch it just yet, but the promo here that aired during Rampage, it does look pretty good though, so I definitely gotta check that out. And our Rampage main event tonight, and like I always say, since they don't actually play this clip anymore, I'm still gonna say it anyway. As Mark Henry would say, well, it looks like there's been enough talk. It's time for the main event. And we have the Bang Bang Scissor Gang, Switchblade Jay White, the Guns, and the AEW Trios champions, Billy Gunn and the Acclaimed. They take on the team of Jay Lethal, the King of the Mountain Jeff Jarrett, Sanam Singh, in the Dark Order, Alex Reynolds, Evil Uno, and John Silver, with Karen Jarrett and Sanjay Dutt in their corner. The Acclaimed and the Bang Bang Scissor Gang get the win here in this 12-man tag team match. So that was tonight's AEW Rampage. And to be honest, I thought it was an alright episode of Rampage this week. Not too bad anyway. And now let's go on over to Fox for WWE Friday Night Smackdown, which tonight is actually a double taping. WWE taping 2 episodes of Smackdown tonight, with next Saturday being the Elimination Chamber Premium Live event from Perth, Australia, with a 5 a.m. Eastern start time. So, gonna have to get up early next Saturday morning. And we were live from Salt Lake City, Utah. Our commentators for tonight, Corey Graves and Wade Barrett. And we start things off on SmackDown tonight with a qualifying match for the Men's Elimination Chamber match. Kevin Owens and Dirty Dom Dominic Mysterio, R-Truth, in the corner. And now he does say he's not a member of the Judgment Day. And at one point, Dominic tells him he is a member of the Judgment Day. And then he tells Truth to go get him a chair. Truth, he listens to him. He goes, gets a chair. But then he sits it down and sits in it. And that distraction allows Kevin Owens to recover and hit Dirty Dom with a pop-up powerbomb for the win to qualify for the Men's Chamber match. And in a qualifying match for the Women's Elimination Chamber, Tiffany Stratton defeated Zelina Vega. The Authors of Pain, along with Paul Ellering, Karrion Kross, and Scarlett Bordeaux, were in action, defeating Javier Bernal and Bo Morris. Logan Paul defeated The Miz in the match to qualify for the Elimination Chamber, and in another women's qualifying match, Naomi defeated Alba Fire to qualify. And the final segment of Smackdown this week, The Rock and Roman Reigns. Well, not just them, it was the whole bloodline. The Wise Man Paul Heyman, Jimmy Uso, and Solo Sikoa were there as well. And it is official. The Rock's heel turn confirmed. As he starts his promo, he says, Salt Lake City made history tonight. The biggest gathering of trailer park trash The Rock has ever seen. And he went on to cut what I thought was a very good heel promo. And he ended it with, if you smell what the bloodline is cooking. I thought this was done very well by The Rock. It shouldn't be a surprise, of course. The Rock has been a heel before, so this is nothing new. And it was just like when he first started as Rocky Maivia, and they were trying to push him as this top babyface, and he just didn't get over. The fans turned on him, started chanting Rocky sucks and die, Rocky die. And then eventually, when they put him with the Nation of Domination and that heel turn, he got over and eventually changed from Rocky Maivia to The Rock. And also when in 2003, when he came back and wasn't really one of his most memorable runs. He was a heel when he had the match with Goldberg and WrestleMania 19 with Stone Cold. So The Rock definitely works as a heel. And that was tonight's Smackdown. I thought it was an alright show. Like I said, I thought the qualifying chamber matches were pretty good. And also the Bloodline promo, I thought was done very good as well. So I'd say we had a pretty good Friday night of pro wrestling this week. And before I wrap up tonight's episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic, gonna check to see if we have any news and some good news for WWE. Tonight's Smackdown in Salt Lake City was sold out, a legit sellout, which is probably why they had, which I thought that was what The Rock was going to say. When he started his promo, I thought he was going to say it was an attendance record for Utah. But then, of course, he went the heel route, which I thought was very well. And some TNA news. Tommy Dreamer has stated that nothing has changed regarding his role on the TNA creative staff. It was first reported, actually, after the firing of Scott D'Amore by Anthem, was that Tommy Dreamer was now going to be heading the creative team. But that appears not to be the case. Which, I think, if it did happen, that Dreamer would be a good choice. And I know they got Robert Evans and Delirious on their creative team now. And it's also being reported that TNA's roster issued a letter to Anthem in support of Scott D'Amore. And that is all I have for the news tonight. Thank you everyone for tuning in and listening. Once again, no episode of Collision to talk about tomorrow, but I will be back for the Saturday episode of Good Morning Wrestling Fans. And remember, in the comment section, you can go there, leave your thoughts and your opinions on tonight's AEW Rampage and WWE Smackdown episodes. Or if you don't want to leave ratings for those shows, you can just talk about anything pro wrestling that you want to talk about. And like I said, I will be back tomorrow morning for Good Morning Wrestling Fans. Hope everyone has a great Friday night. And until then, I am Lance, and I am a wrestling fanatic.